Hey guys, this is Caleb Marinelli, here for episode 1 of my weekly NASCAR race reviews. Yesterday, the Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series headed to Bristol Motor Speedway, the best track on the schedule, for the Bristol night race. In the end, Kurt Busch won the race finally. He's my second favorite driver, he and Kyle. And we'll talk about Kyle in a bit too. Congrats to Kurt. I'm so happy he was able to be in the, he's in the playoffs now. Or, it's the chase. It's always going to be the chase for me. But he finally won. He's in the playoffs. And it was a great race overall. It's Bristol. It's always going to be a good race. And it might have even topped the spring race, too. It was a great race. There was passing everywhere. There was so much drama in that race. And I'm surprised there wasn't a fight or anything going on after the race. But we'll talk about why. So, at the beginning of the race, you saw Kyle Busch was caught up in a wreck on like lap 3 or 4. At that point, I just thought that he was done for the whole race. But then he was able to take it to pit road and continue on. And throughout the entire race, he was just getting himself toward the front. And he ended up with like, I think, a 20th place finish. Yeah, he just worked his way up through the field that entire race, coming back from all of that. He's obviously been frustrated this entire weekend, obviously with the Xfinity race too, where he had the suspension failure about like 70 or 80 laps into the race. But he did have an up and down weekend at his best racetrack, and maybe next time, maybe next short track we go to, he will do a lot better. But he had the situation with Martin Truex Jr. late in the race. He got into him, and he turned him right there. They were battling for a position, and Kyle admitted after the race that he did not mean to do that. It was an accident. Was not his fault, or was his fault, I mean. Admitted that he was at fault for doing that. And I obviously saw Truex was frustrated. We could all see that. You don't usually see him that mad, but you know, it's Bristol. That's how it's gonna be. So at that point, Truex was out of the race. So yeah, actually, I found out after the race. I believe Kyle actually got in an altercation with the fan. Whoever that guy was, I did see the video. Whoever that guy was. He does not deserve to have the freedom to go to a NASCAR race ever again for the rest of his life. I mean, maybe I wouldn't take that far, but maybe he should be banned from Bristol for doing that. I'm not just saying that because I'm a biased Kyle Busch fan, but that's not something that you should. That's not something you do to a driver. I get these people hating on him, but the guy apologized for it, and I even know he messed up. But yeah, earlier, a few laps before, you had the situation with Jimmy Johnson and Chris Buescher. That was interesting. Obviously, Jimmy was kind of forcing Buescher in the middle there. And he kind of came up on Buescher there, and it forced Kyle into the wall. Well, not really into the wall, but it cut his tire down, and it caused him to spin out. So he had a real up and down night, but again, it was a great race. We just had a bunch going on. Basically it. So I'm so glad Kurt Busch won, especially after the news that he'll likely be going somewhere else after this season. I still say the news about Chip Ganassi Racing is true, so I do believe he'll be driving the 1 car next year. After all that, he's able to win a race, his first one since the 500, and I'm so happy for Kurt and that team. And hey, on Stewart Haas, Almirola is next. He's gonna win at some point this year, I'm telling you. But great race. We go to Darlington in about 2 weeks. We'll have an off week. I want to thank you guys for watching. This is Caleb Marinelli signing out.